Yeah.
Hey, speaking of that, what's the Laird Superfood ticker right now? Do you know?
Ooh,
We were gonna check and see how many millions Laird actually has
it's a great
based on his
question.
food. I don't know if the listeners remember, but a couple of weeks ago we brought up the point that Laird Foods, I think it's Laird Foods, I don't know, some company that Laird's involved with regarding his coffee supplements and all of his supplements went public. It's now a publicly traded stock, and we wanted to. At the time, 2 weeks ago, Laird was like a multimillionaire, and we're wondering where the Laird stock ticker is now relative to when it went public.
So you brought this up because we were talking about grabbing for your phone. Do you check stock prices on a daily
No,
basis? Okay, good, good, because that's absolutely crazy making.
yeah,
Okay, so Laird currently, right now of this moment, trading at $51.45.
wow.
The 52-week low was $31. I forget where it opened, but it was right around the
I want to say
30.
I thought you said 20 something, and it went to 40 in 1 week.
No,
It'll show on the ticker what it opened at, I
it
think.
says that it opened at 48, but I don't think that doesn't seem like it's right. Anyways, the 51 week or 52-week low is $31. That was on September 23rd. The high has been 51.89, so it's actually sitting right around the high. But a couple of different people emailed, one of whom was he is a professor of finance at a very, very well-known school here in Southern California. And he
Why
said,
can't you mention the school's
well, I don't
name?
know if he wants to be identified. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
all
Like,
right,
I don't know.
all right.
But
USC. We're gonna just say it's USC probably.
Laird's stake is roughly 13%, which makes his share in the company worth 35.3 million as of closing on Wednesday. That was Wednesday, I think 2 weeks ago when he sent this, or a week ago.
All right.
Laird is a regular foot on their financial statement. That came from somebody else
That's
because
cool.
the image is superimposed on all of the products packaging.
Yeah.
Basically, he said, here's a summary. Laird is the, quote, chief inventor of Laird Superfoods and currently owns 750,000 shares of Laird Superfoods common stock. Incidentally, that is more than the CEO, Paul Hodge, who owns about 250,000 shares. As of today, Laird's stake in the coffee creamer is worth about 30 million. He also holds options that are probably worth another 5 to 10. And then he went on to say, I bet his house in Little Doom is probably worth another 10 to 15 mil. So all in all, he is probably worth at least $50 million, not including other assets that we can't track, end quote.
And I'm not a financial expert at all, but I assume that you can't just sell off your stock. Don't you have to hold it for a year or something like that?
That I don't know.
Yeah. No. Well, anyway, we're going to continue to have the Laird Foods stock ticker. Hopefully every week we'll have it in our notes so we can just do a quick update on how many millions Laird has.
So think
Yeah.
about, not to interrupt you, but think about that as we hear about that business plan in startups all the time, where it's just rapid growth at all costs. Profitability does not matter at all, which apparently Laird Superfoods was losing money as of going public. But grow at all costs, accrue capital every step of the way, and just keep expanding into all spaces and hiring engineers and building out the software and building out the infrastructure, only to get to the IPO. The finish line is the IPO. The finish line isn't 10 years into the company. It's not when you pass it down to your grandkids. It's not when it hits profitability. The IPO is the finish line, because you basically dupe the retail investor market into doing exactly what happened here, which is just buying shares. And then you get back all of the money that you took out as a loan, pay back all of those previous investors, and everybody gets rich. And you hope that the coffee creamer and the turmeric supplement actually sell at Costco from this point on, and that all those people you hired can turn it into a profitable business. But we see that happen all the time in startup. I don't remember seeing it happen this successfully in the surf space. You could argue that GoPro was kind of tangential to the surf space, but really that was a tech company way more than it was a surf company. But it's fascinating. I think Laird's the one who's executed this better than anybody.
Yeah, as a brand, he's pretty powerful because I imagine you can get this supplement other places for perhaps cheaper. I don't know, but
For sure. If you just looked at the ingredients that were on the package, there's a million other packages on the market that have those ingredients, I would imagine.
maybe your friend, the business professor, will enlighten us as to when Laird's allowed to sell his stock and actually turn his paper millions into millions of shekels. That'll be interesting.
Laird's living the life.